afternoon. Welcome everybody to another edition of Valley Spotlight. Here we are.
This is quite a place, Jonah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We're at the bunker, and then Bogies is doing all the food today.
Southern Park Mall.
Man, you have got us as a captured audience today. You got golf, you got great food, you got nice people.
Right.
Mike and I are like,
right.
This is a match made in heaven on TV.
Jonah's seen me here a couple of times.
Yeah.
Mike's been in, working on his game.
Yeah.
Once his shoulder gets better.
How is the game?
We need some work.
Okay.
We're still getting the shoulder going, but anyways.
This is so incredible when you walk in. I had no idea how big it is.
Yeah, thank you.
It's just a huge space.
38,000 square feet indoors and a pretty big patio outside. So it doesn't look as big when you pull up to the front, but it is so deep, it just keeps going. So,
And you've been here, so you're obviously having a good time.
Yep, and it's packed. It's packed with folks. The simulators are open until like midnight, aren't they?
They are. Our liquor license is till 2 a.m., so we've had some golf going into the wee hours of the morning.
So the bunker is kind of the golf part, and then the food part is?
Yeah, so the whole place is called the Bunker,
right,
at the Southern Park Mall. And Bogies, actually Double Bogeys,
yeah.
You know, familiar with Bogies in Louisville?
Yeah.
They started the name Double Bogeys to not confuse with the original location, but Double Bogeys does all of our food and drink throughout. So.
And I'm not sure if Mike's had a chance to be there recently, but you have to wait in line to get a cheeseburger or any of their foods there. It's always packed.
It is
so
packed,
the food, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Look at how lucky we are.
I mean, I'm starving, and this is I don't know what I want to eat first. Yeah.
Tell me about, I know the DeBartolo burger is one of the big sellers in the front, but tell me about this chicken sandwich that you like here in the back, way too close to Lauren.
The Yo Hot Chicken.
I know, right?
Yeah, don't take that long. But that's
Splitsies.
So it's a chicken sandwich. It's got some sort of spicy pimento cheese and coleslaw mix on top. Oh, it is delicious.
Yeah, this is, you know how you get a grilled cheese and you're not quite done, even though you've eaten your grilled cheese, then you eat part of your kid's grilled cheese? No problem with this one.
No, I think Chef Mel came up with a foot-long grilled cheese. I think you can add some stuff to it. I don't think I'd be able to finish that.
It looks like a driver head at the bottom of the toothpick. That's how big it is.
That's true.
And then we have these pierogies that, I always have to mention a pierogi because they're fantastic.
They're heritage.
Yeah, pierogies, deviled eggs, the greens. I mean, you can't go wrong with
Chef Mel brought his greens here.
Yeah, they are.
How exciting. Wonderful. Pasta dishes, we had soup the other night. It was all just really good, really good stuff.
They've been doing a great job.
Thank you for having us. Mike's first story is one that first of all, I can't believe this guy actually does this for a living.
Yeah, and I think he feels the same way. Going from FBI person that recovers lost and stolen art, now he's on the lecture series. He works with movies that deal with art thefts. It's really cool. Robert Whitman is coming to the Valley to Medici Museum of Art, and here's a little background on his story.
Turn now to one of the most famous art heists ever. The FBI revealing that after more than 2 decades now, they think they know who pulled off a stunning robbery of 13 pieces of art worth $500 million from Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum.
It's the kind of thing that makes national news and the kind of thing Robert Whitman made a career out of for the FBI. Catch the bad guys that steal and try to sell art.
Special Agent John Hartley, FBI.
Hi, guys.
Well, unbelievably, or believe it or not, the first case I was involved with was a museum heist. It was a mask by Rodin, which was stolen from the Rodin Museum in Philadelphia. And that was one of the first cases I got involved with. We solved it. And as a result, the FBI sent me to art school, to the Barnes Foundation in Philadelphia. And once I was trained in art, jewelry identification, and high-value asset investigations, that's what I did for the rest of my career.
The theft was timed to the busiest day of the year for Boston police, St. Patrick's Day.
Whitman worked on this case as well, going undercover in Miami and Spain to get back one of the Rembrandts and the Vermeer.
So as a result, many times I got involved, like I said, in 20 countries, working undercover. I was undercover somewhere in the world for almost 10 years.
To date, Whitman has recovered over $300 million in lost and stolen art. And don't think of art as just drawings, paintings, and sculptures. It's anything that could be called an asset.
When we talk about high-value assets, we're not just talking about sculptures, paintings, and prints. We're talking about things like Superman comic books. They're worth $1 million today, the original comic books. Very recently, a Tom Brady rookie card that was signed was sold for over $1 million. Think about that. And what would happen is these individuals would steal this material, and ultimately, when they tried to market it, when it came back to market, that's when we would recover it. And they couldn't find a real buyer. They had to find the police, and that was me.
Probably the most sellable value was this Rembrandt, recovered in Europe in a sting operation with 3 governments working together.
And it's a self-portrait of Rembrandt when he was 24 years old, painted in 1630, and considered one of the finest self-portraits he ever did. It was done on copper, which was very, very valuable. That was a very valuable type of metal back in 1630. And he did it on copper using gold flecks in the paint. It was one of his premier pieces.
Other assets that have meant a lot to Robert through the years was a flag flown by African American soldiers in the Civil War and an integral part of American history.
And that was a copy of the Bill of Rights. That was the original, one of the original 13 copies of the Bill of Rights that were sent to the 13 states back in 1787, 1789 by George Washington. And this copy of the Bill of Rights was to be ratified by the state into the U.S. Constitution. And this was stolen during the American Civil War, 1865. It was taken right out of the State House in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we recovered it in Philadelphia in 2003. So it was missing for over 150 years. But that particular piece, or 140 years, that particular piece, if it could be sold on the open market, would be valued at around $100 million.
It may sound like a glamorous life, but remember, Robert was undercover all over the world for over a decade, and many times his life was in danger.
You know, when you work undercover as a law enforcement officer, you're always nervous, and there's always a possibility that things can go south. So, you know, I always had my escape routes planned, and yes, I always had SWAT teams around and working around the world, say like in Spain when we did a case in Madrid.
Still, it was rewarding work, and work he still does today for his own company.
What do people say when you get their art back?
Oh, they're ecstatic.
Ecstatic because it's not the monetary worth of the pieces that's important, it's the sentimental value a lot of times. He is the #1 expert in the field. Whitman has even consulted on 16 art theft movies.
She set me up, framed me.
A few clever keystrokes and poof. Bye-bye, Agent John Hartley.
And he gets to travel to give lectures on the topic. Even if you don't know art, his experience speaks to everyone.
Everybody's a collector. You know, we're all human beings. We're involved in 2 things. We love treasure hunts, and we love collecting. I mean, and people don't think they are. It's satisfying for me to be able to do this, to instruct individuals. It's good for my business. And I enjoy helping museums, especially like the Medici. I think it's great what they're doing. I think the new director there, Caitlin, has got some great ideas. And she's going to bring that museum way up in the world and make it into one of the premier spots, I think, in Ohio.
Yeah.
$300 million
Oh,
worth.
thanks to him and his team.
And he doesn't even get to keep 1 minute of it.
No, but he gets
Not even
to.
one.
He's still working on it, and he still gets to. He does that with this company now.
And the sentimental value of these pieces of
That's
art,
it.
not just the monetary value.
Yep.
Big deal.
Right.
You know what else is a big deal?
Wait, I have to tell you when he's coming.
Oh, sorry, that's true.
MediciMuseum.art. His first of the 3 lecture series is this Wednesday, so get your tickets. And then he has another one in May and another one in the first week of June, too. So get your tickets to go to that event. It's really, really cool. He's coming to the area.
I almost cut you off. I'm
That's okay.
so sorry.
I told Robert I would. You don't mess with FBI guys.
No, you don't. Nope. All right, we went out to Angels for Animals. We've spent lots of years out there with Diane Less, but you have not seen, Mike, what this multi-million-dollar expansion has done and what they're going to be doing with their annual garage sale.
Let's
so
see it
take
right
a
now.
look at this. Well, my goodness, I literally cannot wait to introduce our Valley Spotlight family to someone who has been as part of our TV family for a long time. Diane Less out here at Angels for Animals, the general manager of a place that Diane started so small, and now we're standing in an area that it's just compounded on itself. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell people at home like what we've missed. It's been 2 years and COVID hit, and then everybody sort of just, you know, we have to stay in our own lane. And your lane has been expanding what you guys have done here in a big way.
Well, we started raising money for this building back in 2015, in August of 2015. We had a kickoff dinner over at the Lake Club and kick things off. This is the building we're in right now is strictly a medical facility. It's a $10 million facility. We have raised about $7.9 million of the goal.
Right.
So we still need to raise a little more money. There are still things to finish, but as of right now, we're outfitted and we have a full service vet clinic here that is open to the public.
Right, and you took us through and we were able to sort of get some video from even just the exam rooms to where the surgery center is. You guys offer more than just what people might think. I mean, we're talking about dental coverage, we're talking about even close to end of life care here.
Well, lots of that,
right.
Unfortunately. We do 6 to 10 owner's pet euthanasias here a day. And of course, we have our own crematory here. So it makes a nice service because then, you don't have to take them home with you. You can leave them here and we'll take care of them and pick them up later.
And a private entrance for all that too, because we know how emotionally hard that is, not just with people in our lives, but when our pets,
Oh, sure.
One and the same.
Much easier for them. And of course, our goal is that the end of life experience is very good for the people and for the pet because it's just so hard.
Right, but while they are alive and they are our pets, you guys have it completely covered from start to finish, really.
Right, and the whole other great thing about anything that you do here at Angels for Animals, any money that you spend here on our services, all the proceeds go to the animal shelter. So every dollar you spend here, whatever is left of it after expenses, goes to help find homes for all the stray animals that we take in. We take in around 3,500 a year right now. And so, we are the only open access shelter probably between Cleveland and Columbus.
Unbelievable.
Because all the shelters have gone to no kills. The public doesn't understand that means there is restriction on what can be taken in.
Yeah.
It's one way or the other.
Yeah.
So our goal here is to save every adoptable animal. And adoptable means friendly and healthy.
Right.
And if they are, we will save them and we will find them a permanent loving home. That is our goal.
Coming up in just a matter of weeks, the giant garage sale is going to be happening. Of course, you guys depend on so much fundraising and creative fundraising. For the actual garage sale, that goes towards the general fund. But there are 3 different ways people can participate in giving to making sure that all of this works together. And I think we want to make that clear.
Yes, because people say things like, oh, well, the garage sale can pay for this building. No, it can't.
No.
It goes to pay for the work of our nonprofit, our animal shelter. No dollars are spent on this facility, the Angel Wing, without you specifically earmarking it as such.
Right.
So when you donate to Angels, you can donate to the Capital Campaign, which pays for this building. It's bricks and mortar. You can also fund any of our programs. If you go on our website, we have programs for about everything.
Yeah.
Right now, we're looking for money to fix cats. But we have a pit bull program to fix pit bulls because that's still a big problem in our area. We have an eye fund if we have animals that need a special surgery for their eyes.
Wow.
We have a care fund, so an animal comes in here that the people don't have money and we can help them some. We have all these different funds that you can give to specific funds. And then, of course, any other donations. When you walk in here and you leave us a $20 tip or whatever with your wellness appointment, that goes to the general fund.
Yeah, and you guys are nonstop. We've been here just a few minutes, and there's so many people coming in the door, and I know that they're like, oh my gosh, stop talking already. We have a job to do. But the garage sale is coming up on the 22nd, correct?
Yes, it is. And the intake, if you'd like to donate things to the garage sale, is the day before Easter and the day after Easter.
Okay.
So the 16th and the 18th from 9 in the morning till 7 o'clock in the evening. You can bring your stuff to the Canfield Fairgrounds for the sale. And then the actual sale starts on the 22nd Friday, and it goes through the 23rd, and then the 24th is the half price day and the truckload sale.
Fred, get the truck ready, darling.
Yes.
We'll be needing the truck.
You will.
We love it.
You need a truck to come there at all. I mean,
At all.
We're adding another building this year. I mean, it's hard to believe that we're adding another building, but we are. We're going to add the Fine Arts building up there. It's a 10,000 square foot building, and we're going to move the antique and collectibles down to that.
Wow.
So
both the new space and the older space?
We'll keep all of them, yes. We'll have 7 buildings of
at the
merchandise.
Canfield Fairgrounds,
yes.
not here at this location.
No.
I appreciate the time that you took to take us through, and I know everybody's been seeing video of this entire new building for the Capital campaign. But as always, you guys, are always taking the animals in just over the shelter on the other side of the building. But Diana, we wish you guys the best of luck today and always.
Oh,
okay?
It'll be awesome. Just go on our website, and if you can volunteer, we need help from the first day of intake all the way to the day after the sale. We need thousands of man-hours of volunteers, and it's fun.
Well, Sabina's ready. She's got her muscles ready, right, babe? She's looking at me like, I'm gonna get you, Mama. Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys doing this.
Always. Papa Canzonetta's peppers, recipe established in 1975. A family secret is now yours to share with the people who add spice to your life. Choose from mild and hot versions, plus our famous original blend too. They're the perfect punch for any dish, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We've got the recipes to prove it. Just follow us on Facebook, order online at papacans.com and pick your peck. Papacans.com, order 6 jars or more and qualify for free shipping. We like it hot. We're glad you do too.
Welcome into Pesto's Test Kitchen on the road down in downtown Youngstown.
Historic downtown Youngstown.
Yeah.
A little cloudy of a day, but spring is upon us.
It is. We're turning the corner.
We're turning the corner. The grass is getting green.
Snow falls again. That's how it goes.
Maybe Sunday. Who knows?
Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, Bistro 1907 is the place, and we're learning about something I know. I'm going to have a lot of questions because I really don't get it.
That's okay.
So explain it, dumb it down to me. We are pickling vegetables.
This is one of the oldest forms of preservation.
Okay.
Besides salting, when the ancient folks used to salt cod and dry it out, and they could keep it through the winters without refrigeration.
Okay.
So this is the next form. It's pickling.
Pickling.
A lot of countries that do there's a ton of countries that do a lot of pickling. And we're one of them, and Mexico's one of them, and we're going to be doing a lot of pickling at Oaxaca.
Okay.
So that's why we're talking about this stuff, because Oaxaca is around the bend too.
These are kind of a Mexican mix of vegetables that you would use.
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It is.
All right, let's tell them what we have.
Well, we're going to pickle some different vegetables, some different chilies, some long chilies, some jalapenos. We're going to make something called escabeche, which is kind of like, how everybody in the Mahoning Valley gets a side of peppers and bread?
Yeah.
It's like their version of that, but it would be tortillas, and it would go with roasted meats or stewed meats or anything like that.
Okay.
And that's just a combination of carrots, typically, red onion, jalapenos, chilies, peppers sometimes, tomatoes sometimes, garlic, bay leaves, peppercorns, Mexican oregano, very, very important Mexican oregano. It's a little bit more citrusy than any other oregano, and sugar, salt, and vinegar, and water.
Does pickling change the taste of them? Does it make these less hot, or these taste better, or anything like
salt makes things less hot as well.
Okay.
So if you add salt to peppers, it'll bring down the hot factor in salt. That's why you salt hot peppers before you can them. Or they're going to be really, really, really spicy.
Okay.
So, as a quick rule of thumb, a good pickling methodology is 3 parts of vinegar, 2 parts of water, and 1 part of sugar and salt combined.
Okay.
At an equal ratio.
Yeah.
And you mix that together, and you bring that to a boil. You either add the vegetables to it and let them steep, or you pour it over the vegetables and let them macerate in there and get happy. And it's going to take on all the flavors that you put into it.
So there's a cooking process involved in it too. It's not just throw stuff in there.
have some pickle in the back going pretty strong because we're going to pickle some of these real quick.
Why do you have to boil it?
Well, you boil it because that also partially cooks, acidifies the vegetables, you know, and makes them a little bit softer. You don't want them necessarily super crunchy.
Okay.
You know, so you want a little bit of cookedness to them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Is there anything we can do now as we get ready to go?
Yeah, we're going to mix some escabeche. Okay. So escabeche is one of the biggest, you know, it's like a table condiment for Mexican. It's like out on the table. They always have it.
Okay.
So we're going to add carrots. And Mike, if you want to add those onions.
Right here?
Yep. I'm going to add these long chilies and these jalapenos.
All right.
I'm going to add these red peppers. And then I'm going to add some Mexican oregano.
They have their own oregano, do they?
They do. So do the Greeks, so do the Italians, so do Americans.
Okay.
We're going to add, you know, peppercorns to taste, however peppery you want it. We're going to add 3 or 4 bay leaves to it.
Okay.
And then we're going to pour the pickling juice over this and let it get happy.
But first you have to cook the pickling juice, and then you put it over, right?
We do. So now we will make the red onions. I'll show you how to make the red onions.
Okay.
Mike, if you get me that bowl over there.
All right. That's heavy.
Yep. So the red onions, we're going to pour it in there. You want to julienne them. I like julienne them. They look really, really nice.
Okay.
We're also going to add some beets because the beets, you know, just cut and quarter some beets. That's going to bring the color out in the red onions.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to add a couple bay leaves to this as well. A couple peppercorns. And a couple cloves of garlic. And some garlic over here to the escabeche. And we're going to pour the hot liquid over this, and we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes. And it's going to have a slight pickle to it, and then we're going to let that rest for a day or two, and then it's going to be fully acidified, vinegar, and delicious.
And then you're ready to go.
And then you can take this and put this on any kind of roasted meat. My favorite thing to put it on is tacos, of course, because you know I'm addicted to tacos.
And the difference between this and this is it called something different?
No, it's just pickled red onions.
Okay.
So you can use this in any culture. This could be Peruvian, this could be Mexican, this could be in any kind of culture. There's pickled vegetables, anything. They use it to brighten the flavor of a very savory dish.
Okay.
So like a stew. You know how it's really rich and savory? If you add a little bit of this, it's going to bring out all the flavors in the stew, plus make the flavor a lot brighter.
And then you said we don't have to put this in the fridge because we're afraid of it.
You can put it in the fridge and it'll last longer, but you can keep this out at room temperature. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I wouldn't keep it out at room temperature for 3 months in the middle of summer.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
But you can keep it at room temperature.
Okay. All right. So we'll do our break for now.
Yes.
And then when we come back later on in the show, we'll show you the process of how it works.
Yeah.
What it looks like when it's done.
Yep.
And then we'll get to try it.
Absolutely. Sounds good, Mike Case.
This is exciting.
It is.
Pickling 101 here with Mark Canzonetta in Pesto's Test Kitchen. Be back with more in downtown Youngstown in just a little bit. First time pickling.
Look at you go,
I'm a
man.
natural. I'm a natural pickler. They've been saying it for years. Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
true.
let's
Not
continue.
even close.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Have you ever heard of a metaphysical store?
No.
Me either, which is why when our friend Brian Jones sent us a message from many moons ago, he used to be in the restaurant industry, and he told me about this new store that he and his wife opened up in Canfield. I said, metaphysical what?
Yeah.
I'll be right there.
And she did.
Okay, everybody. Sometimes there's things on my calendar that just keep on getting moved and just keep on getting moved. And Brian Jones is one of those things that just, you kept on getting moved, and I don't even understand why. And I have been so
busy.
We have been very busy on the show, and it was right before the holiday season. But we're standing in Arcane Elements, which is right here in Canfield, right off of 11 and Main Street. And Brian, you invited us out here a couple of months ago, and I am so sad that I waited this long to come out here and see an old friend and to get an update on what you guys have been doing out here. The store is gorgeous, first of all.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So for people like me, before I even walked in, I like to do, I like to find out when I get here, because that's what a lot of people do. And you were so kind to walk myself and Fred and Sabina through what it is that you guys do here. You and your wife own this shop, and you are people that sort of see and feel things in different ways than most of us.
Correct.
So your wife is
My wife's a practicing medium. She also does tarot readings.
Right.
So she's been doing it for a couple years now, and she loves it. We help people out as much as we can.
It's kind of amazing to hear some of the stories behind the scenes when they talk about some of these I don't want to say talents, but maybe gifts. And you have that too about you, some of the things that you feel things from people, right?
I feel things from people. I'm a physical medium, so I gain sense of what people are feeling, and I can help take those feelings or that energy away from them from time to time.
And I asked just a few minutes ago what he does with that energy once he takes it away. You just kind of have to like let it go slowly,
I just kind
right?
of let it go slowly after I walk away, but I know after I walk away that they're feeling better.
And that's a huge thing. And that brings us to this store, because sometimes when we have these kinds of gifts, to be able to share and then to share knowledge about sometimes some of the simplest things that you wouldn't know, you guys have done a really good job of bringing it all together for us. So take me through the stones. Like, we're holding a special one right now that happens to be magnetic, but.
So these are magnetic hematite stones. They're a relaxing and calming stone. They also are good for protection, and you just keep them around with you in your pocket, in your purse, whatever, and it just helps you throughout the day.
And the kids like it too. These are the ones that Sabina picked. But I will say, there's, we're going to show everybody at home the table of stones, and I have never understood any of this in my entire life, but myself, Sabina, and Fred all gravitated to the stone that is most like us. And when it comes to whether we're a Sagittarius or an Aries or a Leo, we each went to the stone that was us, which is shocking to me because you didn't say a word.
I didn't say a word. You went to the stone that pulled you or attracted to you, that you said, oh, this is nice, I like this one. It's just a stone that you needed. Fred was the same way. He picked out two stones that he felt he needed.
We'll keep that one under wraps because I think lots of people know that Fred and I hope to expand our family someday. So yes, the fact that he picked that one and Sabina's face lit up, it was a little emotional for us here in this store because those are things that you can't quite explain.
Nope.
And that actually happened. Like, I'm not making it up. No way. But you guys do a really good job of understanding some of these products and these stones and the minerals and the way that they work into our lives. And you guys are open here all the time, which you never know when you're gonna need some extra help.
Right.
What are the hours?
So we're open Tuesdays through Thursdays from 10 to 6, and then Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 8.
It's good hours, and you guys opened this shop during COVID.
We did. We opened it the week of Halloween of last year.
And how's it going?
It's going amazing. We couldn't be more happy.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of people will say that's a business, like that's a thing you can do. And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And there is a need for this kind of open thinking, I think, in the world, and we can take help wherever we can get it, right?
And we were surprised. We're in Canfield, and Canfield has
tradition. That is ingrained for 150 years, 200 years, and this isn't a part of it. So to see something that's outside,
and to see how many people that we know from Canfield that have come in here to shop was amazing.
I think what you guys have done here is just really, really cool. Give people the phone number or the website, the best way to get a hold of you.
So we have a website. It's arcaneelements.
arcaneelements.com. Okay.
And then our phone number is 234-414-7400.
Brian, it's good to see you. We know you for a long, long time, and thank you very much for the information and for helping us through a couple of hard moments there. So that was very kind of you.
You're welcome.
Well, I want a magic rock.
I know, they're so inexpensive too.
All right.
Sabina had the best time. I figure, you know what, if they work, I gotta try them.
Oh, you gotta try.
So far, so good.
Okay.
Okay. Stick with us. We will be right back with a special Airbnb location, Michael.
Oh, good. I can't wait to see it.
Well, Ducat not only sells the product, but we service them. We have parts and service support for every machine that you buy at Ducut. You are purchasing a machine, it's eventually going to break or need work, and we are here to do that. You don't get that from an online sale or a mass merchant. They just don't have the ability to have the parts and the service. We send our mechanics to school every year. We have 2 Briggs & Stratton master service technicians. There are not many in the country, probably less than 5,000 in the country, and we have 2 at Ducut. And we also have gold certified steel mechanics and numerous certifications in parts and service for every brand that we carry.
So let yourself go to Ducut. Let yourself go to Ducut.
Welcome back to the bunker here at Southern Park Mall. Lauren's grooving her swing for this year. We're all kind of getting that golf feel, and they have some really cool things coming up. You know, if you remember the Lake Club, they even have a special lounge for you and special deals, so it's kind of cool.
This is a nice club, Michael.
It's wonderful.
Look at that, baby.
Oh,
what is
right
this?
down the middle. Right
this
down
is
the middle.
Nice.
Oh, it's brand new. I haven't even taken the plastic off yet.
Wow, thanks for letting me use it.
No problem, no problem.
You also got to meet another very cool person.
His name is Marcus Hernandez. Him and his family and his friends are doing great things in the Dominican Republic. So we thought we'd show you how they go above and beyond for those folks.
It's been interesting here in the Youngstown, Ohio area, right? I've met so many Dominicans or people doing things in the Dominican Republic, just out of the clear blue sky.
Marcus Hernandez was not one of those people. He's actually from Western Canada. But one day at church, the speaker was talking about mission work in Haiti.
So my wife elbows me in the ribs and goes, "Hey, listen, that sounds like you." And because I like travel, I've done a lot of traveling. And I go, you know what, that does sound like me.
A trip to Haiti connected him with a pastor from the Dominican Republic, which is right next door. And that led him to work in that country. Marcus and his wife Marissa and some friends started working in the outskirts of the capital, Santo Domingo.
So we've built almost everything. There was one building there in the beginning, and from that, we've added on, 5 additional buildings. We finished the initial building and built the church, and then from that we started an after-school program. And that's kind of evolved into a full, school program for under 12. We've got almost 400 kids there.
That's right. Foundation Fuente de Amor, which is Spanish for Fountain of Love, provides for 400 kids between the ages 5 and 12. In that part of the Dominican Republic, the kids only go to school for a half day, and they need some help.
Out there, you've got, food problems and everything else. And so that was kind of part of the deal was you'd come, we'd help you with all your homework, we provided all your school materials. These people don't have anything.
So the foundation provides pens, pencils, lunch, and much more. And up until 4 months ago, they delivered all of that to homes since the schools were closed because of COVID. Now the goal is to build a life for these people.
We need to teach these people in this community a trade, something that they can go out. There's a great economy down there. You can get great jobs. And we have a partnership with the government, so the diploma actually comes from, or essentially issued by the Dominican government. So it carries water all over the country.
A trade school for the big industries there. Electrical work, plumbing, possibly upholstery or carpentry.
So for them, super exciting. For the parents, same thing. They're excited to have something in the community that can help their kids along. A lot of these parents don't read and write. They dropped out of school in, 6th grade, this kind of stuff. So to have people there, we have 14 staff members that work on that program. The vision is over time, once we have this fully operational with the trade school, there's some other sections around the Capitol that we would like to do this again, kind of cookie cutter approach after that.
To do that, the foundation needs money, and Marcus, his wife, and the staff will take it from there. On the other end, these kids that couldn't be more thankful.
Oh, Mike, it's overwhelming. It's so I always try to take groups of people down there throughout the year to do some sort of, whether it's like a maintenance project or this or that, and often you go down there thinking, all right, I'm going to do something good for other people, and you do, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's those people that come down there, including me all these years later, that the biggest impact is made on us and them. And when you sit there and you just get mobbed by a million kids that want to throw a baseball around and just play with you and hang out and just so excited to be around you, I mean, it's awesome. It really is. And at the end of the day, what I want to do is impact as many daddies, as many moms, as many kids that they can go out and, build strong lives. And for me, that's my passion.
And if you'd like to find out more about Foundation Fuente de Amor, they have a website, or you can go to their Facebook page. They're going to have some fundraisers coming up with Dominican cigars, too.
I like that.
Yeah,
what a wonderful group of people.
Great family.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Hey, have you heard about this Airbnb up on Mosquito Lake?
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Well, thanks to Kelly Warren and Associates, Fred and I were able to open sort of a getaway for people that don't want to go away. So take a look at this wonderful property. Well, this week on Home Advantage with Kelly Warren, we're technically in my home.
Yay.
In our cabin.
I love it.
Fred and I, we took a huge risk last summer, and Kelly Warren and Associates, they did help us make this dream a reality. So I do have to be upfront with everybody about that one. But Kel, you guys were absolutely so helpful with thinking outside the box for us. We were thinking about a rental property, and then we also wanted to be able to have a little bit of fun, and that is how we found this place.
Perfect. Yes. We've talked about different ways to invest in real estate on the show before. We've talked about doing flips and renovations.
Right.
We've talked about doing long-term renting. So this is like the next real estate 3.0 and another way to invest in real estate.
And that's really it. So we had gone through those considerations, and it just made sense, at least for our stage in life, and like just having some fun. To make a bit of an income on something that was really beautiful, and here we are. And I will say this: the way that this was listed,
yes,
you really couldn't live here.
No.
So thinking outside and how to use it, you guys were so helpful.
Yeah. Well, and I think you guys even came to us with the idea, so in our area, there's not too many Airbnbs.
No.
But when we all vacation, everybody from the greater Youngstown area, I know we all like to leave here and get some sun somewhere else sometimes. And I know my family always is on VRBO and Airbnb and looking for a house rather than getting 2 or 3 hotel rooms. We want to spend that time together. So locally, I've been looking, and there are multiple ones throughout the area, and even the ones like in our cities rent often and rent well. And then to have something like this, or on Lake Milton, or waterfront, or with an attraction, and kind of a cool house. It's not like you're just staying in another Cape Cod. It's got some personality and some character to it. So it's a perfect getaway.
We have lake views here. We're super close to Mosquito Lake and the public boat launch, and you can go grab an ice cream cone, things like that. And for when gas prices are so high right now,
right? If you don't want to drive all the way to South Carolina, then why not just vacation at home?
I love that. I love that. And I do have to say, when people are looking at properties, having an agent that's thinking outside the box with you, because Dave helped us with that. You guys are really good at that.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We are going to do a little bit more in the next few shows about lake living and different outdoor spaces, because it's finally spring and the market is hot.
Yes.
Hopefully the weather will be too, right?
Yes. And as busy as the real estate market's been, to make money in real estate is always a great idea, and I can't talk enough about it, so it's one of my nerdy things.
Thank you for giving us the confidence to do it, because
you.
we did, it was a lot of upfront expense, but now that it's rented, you can look it up on Airbnb. Just look around Cortland, Ohio, it'll pop up, no problem. It is amazing to see other people enjoy the space. And you were so excited about that part for us from the start, even on some very hard, long, expensive days. So give everybody the website and the phone number so they can text you at any time of the day.
KellySoldIt.com, 330-717-2689.
And from Fred and I both and our team, thank you.
Thank you.
We're very, very, very grateful. anything. I could get you a deal.
Seriously, you should be really proud. You should be really proud. You and Fred did an awesome job with that, and all the people that have helped them along the way.
Yes, lots and lots of help. Just look it up on Airbnb. It's in Cortland. You'll find it, and you get the address once you book it. That's kind of how it works.
Okay. All right, we'll take our break. When we come back,
More
Mark's back.
pickling.
Yeah, and we're going to pickle some more and actually try the stuff too.
It's so good.
And it really all started with salt, with Himalayan sea salt. That's where it all started because of a patient who came in and told me about the benefits of salt therapy, which is inhaling Himalayan sea salt, an aerosolized Himalayan sea salt. And I found that my patients were having fantastic results using salt therapy, and I wanted to know how could I incorporate the Himalayan sea salt into products that would benefit the sinuses and the skin. And that's where Salt Me was born.
Heels is the low-cost living, anti-inflation department store.
Shop Hills in the Liberty, Lincoln Knowles, and Boardman Plaza, Youngstown, and the Ridgeview Plaza in Warren, and the Hills location in Champion, all open 10 till 10 daily.
Now you see how this changes the color, Mike? It's gonna give that a nice brown color. I mean, nice red color.
Here in Pesto's Test Kitchen at Bistro 1907 here in downtown Youngstown. And before we go through this, let's get people up to speed.
Sure.
We were in the kitchen cooking.
We were in the kitchen cooking. We actually added the red onions, the jalapenos, to their pickling agents. And it was boiling, and we cooked them in the pickling agent for less than 5 minutes. We just wanted to take some of the crunch off the jalapenos, some of the crunch off the red onions, and we wanted to get those beets to leach their beautiful color and flavor into those red onions.
And if you missed it from earlier, the liquid we cooked them in was?
It was a pickle, and we do the 3-2-1 recipe. We do 3 parts of vinegar, and I like to use good old rice vinegar right over there. I love rice vinegar. It's a very neutral vinegar. If you want to use red wine vinegar, use red wine. If you want to use white vinegar or cider vinegar is used a lot in pickling as well.
Okay.
I like the rice wine vinegar because it's got a neutral flavor.
And we had a question about the Mexican oregano. Can you just get that at any store?
You can get it at any store. You can get it at that big box retailer online. You know that everybody knows, Mr. Bezos.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yes,
They have a river named after it.
They got river. He's got a spaceship.
Yeah,
a lower Earth spaceship.
That's
so
the guy.
Mexican oregano I like for the Mexican products. Like if I was doing agrodolce, which is not agrodolce, if I was doing gremolata, which is an Italian pickled vegetable, I would use Sicilian oregano.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. All right. So now we have to transfer that
Yes, and you're
into
gonna
this.
see. Yeah, we're gonna transfer. I just have these really cool jars from Steelite. You know, just you can use a mason jar. You can use whatever you want. I like these because they look really, really cool.
Okay.
So I just put that in there, nice, and I'll always put a couple beets in there because I like to eat the beets as well. And you see that
Not
beautiful.
much of a beet guy. Are you gonna change my mind on that too? I know you're surprised.
Not shocked.
Okay.
Not shocked, my case.
Doesn't hurt your feelings anymore, does it?
Why would it hurt my feelings?
I don't
Your
know.
food,
chefs are very fragile, temperamental people.
The olive thing bothers me. The martini thing bothers me.
Bloody Mary.
The Bloody Mary thing bothers me.
I know.
And we're just gonna add that juice to cover it. You wanna keep the juice always over the product. Okay. So right up to that line.
Why do we need the juice? Just to make it look good?
Yeah, well, it's antiseptic,
Or will
number
that
one.
soak up more juice?
That will not soak up. It will not soak
Okay.
up any more juice, but it'll keep it covered and it'll keep the vegetables away so they don't oxidize, get a different color, or potentially, you know, turn bad.
Okay.
So that's our pickled red onions. Now we're gonna grab our beautiful jalapenos.
That's these, right? Is this hot? Can I bring this over?
Yeah, bring it over.
Okay.
So these lovely jalapenos. And they do lose a little bit of their color because vinegar tends to leach color, as you saw how it brought the beautiful color of the beets out. God, don't they smell great? Especially with that oregano.
They do. And you said they won't be as hot.
They won't be as hot.
Spicy now.
Because we have them in vinegar, and we also, doesn't mean if they're super spicy, they won't still be spiced.
Right.
But they should be a little bit less tangy than a normal jalapeno. Mike, I hope that didn't go into your eyes.
That's fine.
That would be pretty painful.
What do I need that left one for?
Well, You could. You never know what this world's gonna grab. Doesn't that look great?
Yes. It smells
And those are gonna be perfect on top of your tacos, on top of your nachos. I mean, you can buy the ones, good old ones at any of your big box grocery stores, but this you made, you could possibly have grown them this summer. It's just a great thing to do. We're gonna come back and do the escabeche.
Yeah, we'll take a break. Escabeche is next. We're at Bistro 1907 at Tesco's Test Kitchen.
Thank you.
A to Z Dependable Services now offers walk-in tubs and showers in as little as 1 day. Let us create a safer bathing experience in your bathroom or the shower of your dreams. Call A to Z Dependable Services today for a free estimate or visit us online at onlyatoz.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I'm constantly asked by news sources how to best navigate today's real estate market. I call the brightest agents in the business to get their input. Hi, Kelly. What's going on in the Mahoney Valley area?
Hi, Barbara. The market in the Mahoning Valley has remained strong.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Sellers are enjoying the safety of the Guaranteed Sold program, and buyers and sellers love the 3D tour and the free moving truck.
Get the best advice from my friend Kelly Warren. Go to kellysoldit.com. Be safe and smart.
Pets are part of the family, and at RC Compounding, their pharmacists make your pet a priority.
Pain management is a big one with animals, especially if they have cancer or like end of life. They're unable to take tablets or capsules, and we're able to customize it into a solution that an owner could administer pretty easily without, difficulty of having them swallow a tablet or capsule if they're not able to.
RC Compounding, we care about your health.
Hey, my case, look at all these beautiful colors.
I love it.
Isn't that just like, it just says fun, festive.
Like if this was just on somebody's counter, you would think it was a decoration. That's how nice they look.
It does.
Am I right?
It does. It looks great.
Bring people up to speed one more time. In this one,
that's the escabeche, not escabeche. Escabeche. It's a Mexican pickled vegetable combination of carrots and jalapenos traditionally, then with the addition of onions, garlic, peppercorns, Mexican oregano, and some red pepper.
Right. We did the jalapenos.
Jalapenos, yes. That's our 3-2-1 pickling recipe with garlic, Greek oregano, Mexican oregano. Why do I keep saying Greek oregano? It's Mexican oregano. I'm opening a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think they're fantastic. And this is just the pickled red onions, and you saw how the beets really, really kicked up the color quotient on those. Yeah. And I think they're going to be fantastic.
All right, let's give it a try.
Now, typically this would go on tacos or nachos. Yeah. This would be a side dish. Perfect.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that good?
It's a little bit sugary, it's a little bit salty, it's a little bit tangy, it's a little bit hot.
It's umami.
Yeah.
It's got your mouth's going everywhere crazy.
I know.
So, are you gonna try jalapeno?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Let's see how hot.
You tell me.
They're awesome.
They're not bad?
A little bit. I almost did the Shaquille O'Neal thing there where he coughed after eating the one chip challenge. Those are perfect.
Not hot for me. It's not too bad.
You're not a big hot guy.
No, it's good. I do okay. I'm in the medium hot.
So I think you could do this with a lot of different things. I mean, if you wanted to do it with cactus, you could do it with cactus. I mean, you can pickle anything. Pickle is just preserving, and that's what we use it for. But it's also a way of putting unbelievable flavor on top of something to give it that accent.
I learned a lot today.
I learned a lot too.
You're good. Thank you for watching Pesto's Test Kitchen.
Thank you.
Can't wait till next time.
Well, we're gonna be doing more and more Mexican things as Oaxaca comes to fruition.
It's gonna be good.
All right.
See?
They're so beautiful too.
Oh, I know. They look like, I told them, they look like displays.
Right, he should be selling those at the restaurant. Just one more thing for Mark to have to do.
Sure. Stop busy.
Oh my gosh. You know, when you think about people who have really changed the game, changed the name of themselves and almost what they see when they look in the mirror, it all starts from within. Yeah. And I think that's why at this time of year when things are sort of coming back and spring is sprung, why not look at yourself too? And Nate Dukes has a book and a story that you don't want to miss. One of my all-time favorites.
Can't wait.
Nate's story is one that many people would never want to tell the truth about if it were their story. After all, the truth about oneself is sometimes hard to admit out loud. And for some reason, we tend to believe people cannot change.
So growing up, we were the poor family. We didn't have a whole lot. My parents they were kids trying to raise kids, and some of their broken mindsets were passed down to us. And I knew that when I went away to college, I wanted to try and create a new life for myself. But I found myself being drawn into the party scene, and that's when I was first introduced to drugs and alcohol. And I had a really good time. It was really, really fun until it wasn't.
4 years later, Nate Dukes found himself no closer to any of his goals. He could no longer hide from who he had become.
And what started out as a weekend fun experience turned into a full-blown drug addiction at age 19, 20, and 21. But there was still this driver inside of me that wanted to build and create, and through a series of events I was able to start a couple businesses and became what I would consider mildly successful. I didn't have a ton of money, but I was doing okay for myself. And but the problem was that I had business partners, and I had also this secret drug addiction that nobody knew about.
Slowly, his life unraveled. His business partners walked away. He either spent money on his amphetamines or his gambling addiction. He found himself right where he started, living with his parents, trying to get away.
I ended up walking around my parents' apartment complex, looking for anything that I could get my hand on to take, to sell, to feed the addiction on the inside. And I ended up finding the keys to one of the cars that I had opened up. And I thought to myself in this moment, maybe this is a chance to escape this life, because this is not what I wanted. But when you find yourself in the wrong place, with the wrong headspace, you never know what is possible.
Nate stole that car and headed to Dallas to stay with a friend. He made it to Tennessee, and that's exactly where he stayed for the following 6 months.
The weight of all those decisions sat on my chest like a ton of bricks. And so I was taken to Cheatham County Jail, where I spent 6 months of my life. And there was this really powerful moment that I had where I felt like I cried out to God and said, if it's possible to change, I want to, because this is not the life that I want to live anymore. And when I got out of jail, my little sister, she invited me to Russ City Church, and I said, I'm not interested. No, thank you. But she said, it's better than anything else you've been doing for a while, so why don't you give it a shot?
His sister was right.
She saw this place as a solution for me. And so I walked in a very messy person, but I'm thankful that there were people there who were willing to get messy with me. And one of those people was Pastor Brad, and he became more of like a mentor in my life who kind of started poking on some things that I didn't want him to poke on. And you know, a good mentor will take you places that you don't want to go, but that you desperately need to go. And he suggested that I go through Russ City College, which was a 2-year program that it's a ministry program that will help develop leaders. And it taught me how to lead people, it taught me how to communicate, it taught me how to become a better version of myself.
Less than 4 years later, Nate is the leader of Russ City's more than 200 volunteers and community outreach programs. He and his wife Jenna continue to build a life surrounded by change. In their spare time, they have made a good team as they move into and update rental properties.
Fast forward through all of that, my life looks very, very different. So I got married last year to the love of my life. Her name's Jenna. She's absolutely amazing. We bought our first home, and we're looking at actually considering getting a second one where we might be able to actually raise kids.
Change can be hard, and that's why Nate's first book is dedicated to it.
But the thing that I'm really proud of right now is this book that this project that I've been working on for 18 months. It's called You'll Never Change. It's the same thought that I had while I was sitting in the back of that cop car. You're never gonna change, this is your life now. And I wrote this book for anybody who feels like their life is too messy to change, or they feel like, man, I don't know how to create a vision for my future, or I know that there's something more inside of me, but I don't know how to pull it out. And so I'm very thankful now that I get to help and guide people on how to create their own version of a comeback. Because just because you've made some mistakes doesn't mean that you are one. and who you were is not who you are.
You'll Never Change made it to #1 on Amazon in its category.
It was a really, really cool moment for me. You know, I'm just this chubby kid from Ohio, and so it's really special for that to happen. But also too, I've been on this podcast tour lately where I've been on almost 50 podcasts in the last 3 months. And I get to go to different recovery centers and rehab facilities, and I get to share my message with people who are messy right now, who are broken right now, and who need hope more than anything. And so I actually get to give this book away for free, not as a gift from me, but I partner with different individuals and people who actually want to pay it forward. So I've developed a Pay It Forward program where someone can buy a book for someone that they've never met before. And when I get to hand these books to people, you should see their reaction, because I say this isn't from me, but this is from someone who's never met you, but also believes in you.
How about him?
Yeah.
Writes a book on how to change. You know, you're never stuck where you are, and you always can change. And you can change spaces, and you can change people's minds, and don't change anything on this menu. Okay?
Yeah, we're not changing this one.
We're at the
nice,
bunker.
Nice setup.
It is a great setup, and we've had a wonderful time here. And the food, on behalf of Bogies and Steelite, all of the plating. It's always so cool to see what people do. It's lovely. Cheers
Masters
to you
is coming
guys.
up this week.
Masters Week.
Tell folks
excited.
while I eat what you have planned. The tournament starts Thursday.
Tournament is Thursday. So we are starting with Trivioki Wednesday night. Golf trivia karaoke combo back here. Then we're kicking off live entertainment Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we've got dueling pianos Thursday night.
Okay.
Conkle Brothers Friday. 7% Superstar Saturday. And RDNA.
You ever
Sunday.
seen RDNA?
No, I haven't, but I've
They're
heard
the
of
house
it.
band's
Yep.
kids.
Really?
They're awesome.
Is
That's
that
the DNA
why?
part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
a lot of
So
sense.
good.
We've had so much fun out here.
Yeah.
Really. If you have not been, and I haven't been here yet, I feel like I'm the one person who hasn't. Mike, you've been here several times.
And we didn't even get to show you the practice area and the putting green and all the lessons they do and all that stuff.
Come on out. Your swing is going to get better, and then you might need to be rolled out of the restaurant because the
Have
food's
some
so
fun,
good.
Eat some food.
Yeah, we did okay.
Have some wine. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for Steelite, for letting us come to all these great restaurants. We can't do it without them. So.
Well, this was fun.
Thank you.
We always do a retro commercial at the end. Okay. I know you're not as old as I am, but this one goes way back. It has we did the art thing this morning, or the earlier in the show, and now we have something about the Mona Lisa.
Oh, very nice, Michael.
Yeah, so.
You
How
can
do you
watch
watch?
valleyspotlight.com, download the Roku channel, always on the CW, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're, everywhere.
All right. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you,
went right for
Jonah.
the
Thank
greens.
you so much.
You went
So
right
good.
for the greens, didn't you?
I did.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Mother, smile. Monster da Vinci, have you finally figured out how Cadbury gets the soft flowing caramel inside the caramel bar?
Ah, yes, caramel. A fascinating problem. Mona, take a break. I thought this might work. And then this machine. But that's not it. And then this ancient Roman technique. But I need more time. More thought. Mona, hold it! Magnifico.